Hey everybody, it's Don, Captain Cross Stitch here, coming to you the first weekend in May. It is May the 3rd, I believe, Sunday. So I hope everybody's enjoying the warmer weather wherever you are. It's still in the 60s, 50s and 60s here in Maryland where I'm at. But yeah, hopefully it's good where you are. Hopefully not too hot or not too cold. So anyway, this is episode 29, my May episode, which is what did I do last month, the month of April. If you're new here, welcome to my channel. This is a channel 99% about cross stitch. Sometimes I throw in some stuff that I'm reading or other things that I like to do, which isn't every episode. Sometimes I have a little bit of a soapbox at the end too if things are bugging me that I need to get off my chest. So anyway, if you are new here, welcome. I appreciate it, and if you like what you see, I appreciate it if you gave me a thumbs up and subscribed. I don't have many subscribers, even though I've been doing this for 2.5 years. And of course, if you're a subscriber and you're back for another great episode, I thank you for returning. And for those of you who do leave comments, I thank you, and I will reply to those if I haven't already. I just don't, since I don't have much in the way of activity, I look at it like once a month essentially. So, but anyway, so since my last episode, a little life update, health is hanging in there. I've had some issues with my feet going on. One is healed up very nicely, which is the left foot, and that's the one that healed up really well before when I had burned my feet a couple of years ago. The other one is coming along. It's just, that's the slow foot. That's the one that takes forever to heal. So, so health-wise, I'm doing okay. I'm still unemployed, but I did have a very promising in-person second interview last Tuesday. So I'm pretty positive about it. I think it went well, and I just have a feeling about it. I hope I'm right. But it pays well. It's close to home. I won't be a, grunt worker or, in the trenches day to day kind of hard, working hard kind of position. I'll be in management. So I'm hoping they said they would let me know within another week or two. So wish me luck. All right, so since last time, I haven't done much stitching. My broken finger has been giving me a fit. So I'll stitch for a few days in a row, and then it flares up to where I really can't hold the needle well or anything. So I only touched on 3 projects total. One was a new start, and then 2 other ones which are ones that I've been working on recently as well. So nothing too exciting and new other than just progress on some ones, and then a new start, which I'm excited to tell you about, and we'll start with that first. What did I do with it? Okay, so my new start is from Autumn Lane Stitchery, and this is called The Beauty and the Beast. So it's a mermaid with a sea serpent. And what makes this one really stand out is the colors are very vibrant. This picture doesn't really do the colors justice. They really pop much brighter, in my opinion, on the fabric, depending on what fabric you chose. Now, the one in the picture here was done on a gray fabric, but I did mine on more of a stormy light blue color. So there's my start. Yeah, I got quite a bit done actually. I was surprised. So the design comes. It's in 4 pages. So think of it as a square divided, bisected each way. So it's 4 pages. So I'm doing the upper left corner of the design to start. So that's kind of why you see a demarcation of stitches here ending abruptly. But this is the mermaid, and then this is part of the tail of the serpent. So up here, looking down at her, will be the serpent's face. So that's part of this quadrant. You'll see part of it there when I get to it, which shouldn't take me too long because it's a lot of block stitching. You can see it's just like big sections of color. So it goes rather quickly, which is good because I'm a slow stitcher. But anyway, I'm excited about it. I need something new to excite me. I've gotten kind of bored with some of my older projects. So not that I won't go back to them, but I needed some fresh blood. All right. The other 2 projects I worked on in April, which if you follow me, you've seen these in the last couple of months. But I feel like I've made some decent progress, enough that you can... This is Galileo's telescope by Summerhouse Stitch Works. It's actually the small design that comes. This is part 1 of a 3-part triptych stitch, and it has part 1 of the larger design, which is called Zephyr Hill. So it's 1, 2, 3 parts, which I'm going to do once I finish this. I'm going to do this and then go into this and do the first third, and then I'm going to repeat myself. When I get to part 2, then I'll stitch the small, whatever the small is, in part 2, and then I'll do section 2 of the larger piece. But like I said, I've made significant progress on this. So there you go. So I didn't have any of this dark, the color is actually called it's a Gentle Arts Stitch Gentle Arts color called Uniform Blue. So I don't know what uniform is supposed to be, from like Civil War blue or Prussian blue, or I'm not sure what blue it's supposed to be, what uniform they're taking it from. But that's the other color besides this Grecian gold color. But anyway, I finished that, and now I'm going around filling in the circle here with some more of that same color. So yeah, I did all that since the last time. And that is on the fabric that's on is called Trent from Grace Notes Fabrics. It's 14 count. And let's see. Oh, and for the Beauty and the Beast, the fabric that I stitch it on, this is on 14 count as well. And it's called Egyptian Licorice Tea. So it kind of has that, purplish gray, color. All right, and then the last thing that I worked on in April is my oldest whip. It's more than 20 years old. Yes, I said 20. This is from Janlin. It was a kit. And this is called the Egyptian Pear, and the one I'm doing is the King Tut piece. I got Nefertiti as well, but that doesn't really interest me all that much. So I'm just doing the one. But I've made significant progress on this. So the last time you saw it, all this gold in the stripes here was not done. So I have since filled all that in, and all the white, that's the highlights, I'm working my way up. But you see over here, I've started the border. So, basically I'm going to go up to the top and do the border, and then I'm going to do all those hieroglyphic symbols and then start my way back down, and then I'm going to finish at the bottom. So that's the plan. So yeah, I'm pretty proud of it. I'm just surprised. I don't know. I had no motivation to finish it. But let me just see what there. That probably works better without the light shining through. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with it, and that'll look really nice after I get it done. Get it framed and hung on the wall. Because as you can see, I've got some of my work up on the wall there, and things that I've done, and a picture of my grandparents. I was very close to them, and they've been gone for a little more than a decade now. But yeah, I mean, they both lived to be almost 90, so I guess, you can't really complain about losing them too early. I just wish they were still around, because I love them very much, especially my grandmother. She was always super kind to me. I don't know if you can see it. There, that's better now. You can see him. So that was William and Edith Sullivan. That's my mother's mother and her stepfather. So this episode's dedicated to them and brought to you by, unofficially once more, Diet Mountain Dew. Okay. So I've been thinking about another thing. My problem is, I guess maybe because I've been unemployed for so many months, and the worry that comes with that. And I also did apply for disability, but now it's just a waiting game with that. And most people say it doesn't get approved the first time through, so I'm waiting on the results of what my attorney has done with that. But anyway, staying motivated is hard for me in these times, these trying times that I find myself in. Because next month, the money I had when I was laid off will be used up. So it's going to be difficult. I mean, the timing would be perfect if I got that job and started right away. So if you're a praying kind of person, I hope you will do that for me, because I don't want to get into a situation where, bills start to not get paid, and, then you start getting people, coming after you for whatever. So anyway, so what reason I guess brought that up was staying motivated in stitching. A lot of people, I watch several floss tubers regularly, and so many of them have these games that they play to keep them motivated. And one idea I had thought of, which was a version of something that another floss tuber, I always forget her name, Jessie Marie, does stuff. I think that's her name. She has a game that she does that she invented. And I tried to do a similar thing, but it didn't really seem to take hold the way I had hoped. And a lot of people like Carla of Carla's Stitching Journey. She's a very numbers motivated person. I think if I was more prolific, like if I could sit and stitch 1,000 stitches over a day or two, like some of these other people, if I can do 100 per sitting, I'm doing pretty good. I'm just slow, and for whatever reason. So I'm giving myself kind of a reality check that just do what you feel like doing, and that's it. No games, no measurement of progress, other than if I happen to have the project that I'm working on, if it happens to be something that I can import into XP Stitch or whatever it's called, it tracks my progress for me. So I don't care about that. I mean, I'm not, I mean, that motivates me more than anything. If I do have any kind of motivation at all when it comes to numbers, because it's something that I can visually see. Like, I sat down and started stitching. I was at 5% completion. And then when I hung it up for the day, I looked back. I'm at 7.5%. So that is a form of motivation. It's visual, progress. Because you can kind of look at it and see, but to know statistically, that you've done X number and you're at this percentage, it does help stay motivated. Because that squirrel back there, that was the first time I did something in the digital tracking, program, XP Stitch, whatever it's called. And it did help me stay motivated because, I was doing 5%, over a weekend, which was pretty good for me. So I got that sucker done pretty quick. So anyway, like I said, I just basically am giving myself a reality check that none of that works. And I'll just do what I feel like doing, even if that means I just do a new start. That's fine too. Okay, so also, so in light of my pending financial future being uncertain, my haul this month is considerably reduced. So I have some, but it's all minor stuff. First thing I'm going to show you is the most recent thing I got is a project bag, and it was made by Julie Patterson. I don't know if she has an Etsy store or whatever, but she was in a stitch group that I follow on Facebook, and she just threw some stuff up there and said, here's the price, and she does free shipping, which is pretty awesome. So I got this really cool project bag. It has a single handle sewn into it. There's the front. It's got a nice big size zipper pull, which is nice because, with my big hands, it's hard to be dainty. And I already have a project in it, which is my that I showed last month, A Worthy Patriot. So I wanted to have a nice size project bag for this, and I wanted to have, because it means this is celebrating this semi-quincentennial, or 250th anniversary of the great nation of the United States of America. And Plum Street has done a fabulous job in creating this. So I can't wait to get started on this. I ordered a piece of fabric. I ordered a piece called Bradley from Grace Notes Fabrics, which I have not yet received. But this and one other one is going to be a stitch along with their retreat this year. So I'm getting it all geared up I have all the floss, so I'm, other than the fabric, I'm ready to go. And that retreat's coming up in August, which is bought and paid for. I do have money set aside for that retreat, so I will be attending, even if I'm unemployed still. But hopefully I'll be employed, and then it won't be an issue. I got my fabric of the month, which is, it's called Silver Bells. It's just a super pale silver blue color. And they always give you a free sticker, which I put on things. Yes, I do use them. Corinne and whoever is stuffing these in there. I have a box that I hold all my tools and stuff when I travel with stitching, and I have stickers all over the lid. Okay, and then unexpectedly, the new the new keepsake cross-stitch calendar was delivered this past week. And this is the booklet for all the year-long projects that they include in the 2027 calendar. I will share with you what those are. So they always start it with the end of this current year, so December. It's a nice angel. January, February, March, some cute little chicks. Don't tell my wife I said cute chicks. And then we got April with a little hedgehog. Beautiful bird in the nest for May. I might have to do that one. That's good. And then June, nice Happy Home Place towel. July is the cover, which is the little beach house, I guess. And then August, these different kind of abstract chickens with landscape, flowers and whatnot. In September, we got a couple of different little row house things going on. October, the witch shop. Get your witchy supplies. November, look at that turkey. That is one happy turkey. He doesn't know what's coming. And then, of course, next December, pretty little scene with Christmas houses. So you get the calendar, and they also send you a little pocket calendar, which has got cute little design. I don't ever use these, but I have them. I keep them because they had that little design in there. And then the only other new thing I got is the latest, is the summer issue of Just Cross Stitch magazine. So got some zesty lemons there. That's pretty. Didn't really see a whole lot this issue. That was a continuation of the year-long stitch-along project. But other than that, just kind of an average issue. So that's it. It's just either two subscription items I got, and then the only thing I actually bought outright was the project bag. The calendar comes every year. I don't order it. It just once you get it, they just automatically send it to you every year. So I wasn't expecting that when it was shoved in my mailbox. Okay, so all right, so my wife and I are doing some projects around the house interior-wise. We live in a split level, and there's about 5 or 6 steps from the front door that goes down to the basement, which is where I'm at right now. And then there's about 9 or 10 steps going up from the front door to the upper level, where the kitchen, bathroom, living room, 2 bedrooms are all up there. So I spend, 2/3 of my life in the basement, pretty much, since I don't work now. So other than sleeping and eating and taking a shower, I don't go upstairs for anything, because there is a bathroom with a sink downstairs. So, but anyway, and since I have leg issues, it's hard for me to navigate the stairs. Let's just put it that way. It takes me some effort to get up and down the stairs. But anyway, so we've come into possession of some things, and we've acquired 2 single beds. So we started this project because we wanted to. There was a point a few weeks back where we thought maybe my sister was going to come live with us. And, we were going to do that. We were going to make it work somehow. So, but anyway, that turned out to not be the case. But we said, well, what if we just go ahead and do it anyway? So she came into possession of these 2 beds. So I spent all day yesterday unpacking some bookcases and moving them out of the way in order to put one of those beds in the 3rd bedroom, which is downstairs here. So that room is kind of my library / crafting storage area. Well, now it's going to become my bedroom as well. So we did some rearranging. All in all, I mean, I still got some stuff to figure out how I'm going to store it, but that's a project for another weekend. But anyway, so I'm not really sure how I got onto this subject, but anyway, so what are my plans going forward? So I have some projects laid out that I want to start for the remainder of this year, but I'm only going to show you. I'm only going to show you one of them. So for the month of May, I'm going to start. It was the stitch along from last year's Just Cross Stitch project. See if I can find it here. I should have pulled this out. All right. Let me look at the table of contents. That might. 30. Okay. Okay. Yeah, it was called Nature's Journey. And it was designed by Katarina Holland from Sprouting Lupine, who's one of my favorite young designers. She's a very lovely person. I was at, I think it was either the Midsummer Stitch or the Harvest Moon Hangout that Lindy Stitches ran last year. She was one of the guests, and she was very lovely. I came to appreciate her much more than I had really was aware of. But anyway, she designed this. So it's a 4-part, I don't know what you want to call it. It's a 4-quadrant design, but it goes through each of the seasons. So you can see, so this is part 1, and then it goes, I guess it's spring, summer, fall, winter, or vice versa, something like that. So I have all the materials, all for it. I have all the magazines that it ran through. So yeah, I'm gonna stitch that on the called for fabric, which is a color called Into the Veil that was by Bee Stitch Me. So it doesn't really look like it on camera, but it's like a light green color. So that's, and it's in this lovely project bag by Shiva Designs, Melissa Boudry, up in Canada. I've met her several times at Grace Notes retreat. She's a beautiful, wonderful lady. I say lady like she's 70 years old. She's young. But she's a very wonderful person. She sent me a nice note when I bought that bag, so I kept it in there as a reminder. That's going to be my new start for May. For June, I'm going to try and start last year's Stitch Along, the Extraordinary Birds from Lola Crow. That'll be my first one of hers that I've ever attempted to do. So I haven't signed on for this year's Night in the Museum one that she's running now. So I think I'll wait and see what it looks like when it's done before I buy it. So we keep an eye on that. So other plans going forward. And if you want to go further ahead, which I will show these when the month arrives, or the month prior to. For July, my dear friend Dana is kind of quietly nudging me to do this project. It's from an old cross-stitch and country crafts magazine. It's called Santas of Fable and Fantasy. So I'm going to do a Christmas in July start of that, which I have it all kitted up, so it's ready to go. And then for August, I'm going to do something called Autumn Garden. It's by The Drawn Thread. I'll show you that. I think I've shown that before, but I'll show it again in the next couple of months, just as a reminder. Beyond that, I have some other projects that I am fairly certain I'll do, but I didn't want to get too far ahead of myself. So we'll see how the year goes out for over the next few months, and then if I stick with the plan, I'll mention what those later projects might be. Well, that's all that I have, really. I do have a query, and I don't know if anybody feels like answering this question, but it's just something that struck me as odd that I've noticed. I've noticed it in person, like people that I know personally, and I've also seen it in Floss 2 videos. And it may come across as mean. I don't want it to be mean. I'm just trying to understand it. But what is the purpose of, so, say for example, I understand altering projects to like just to fit your whim. So for example, you like for memorabilia especially, there are Facebook groups that have altered versions of, some of her projects, and they're gorgeous. So I don't have a problem with that. But what's weird to me is if and again, I'm not trying to be mean or anything like that, but what is the purpose of, let's say me, so let's say there was a project that had a guy in it, which is rare, that doesn't happen very often. But let's say he was the project, the way it was designed, he's a white guy. And then I decided to make him a black guy. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I just find it weird. I've seen, you don't see too many black stitchers. I mean, I know a few. I've encountered them, but you don't see them, stitching a project. I mean, generally, they'll either stitch a project that has, African American features, or they'll just change it. They'll just make it their own, which I applaud. I think that's great, because it isn't really the recognition that there is kind of a shortage of designs made specifically with them in mind. But I find it weird, because I don't see what purpose it serves. If you're a white person, why would you change it to be, a black person? Again, if you want to do that, that's fine. I just don't understand it. It doesn't make sense to me. And it kind of is, I kind of feel like it's similar to what you hear in the news, what they call virtue signaling, which, if you don't know what that is, it's essentially, participating in something that you don't truly believe in, or you really have no business being part of it, but you include yourself in it to make yourself look like a better person than you really are. It kind of rubs me the wrong way, because it's almost like a form of lying, or fakery. And it's just weird. I've seen people do it. If I'm stitching and I want to change the color of the dress that's in a mirabilia, or change the hair color, from blonde to brunette, or purple, or whatever, I don't have a problem with anybody doing that, because you're not doing it for anybody but yourself. But it's just weird. I don't know how else to put it. But anyway, I hope, asking that question, I don't know if anybody else has noticed that. I mean, you probably have, but you're not gonna. It's not something that people want to talk about, because then you come off, oh, well, that person's a racist or what have you, and it's just not the case. I just feel like I just don't understand it. if you're somebody that does that and you can explain why and help me understand it, I'm all ears. So that's all my stitching related stuff, and I got off on a little soapbox there at the end. The only other thing I would like to mention is I did spend some time in the last few days, actually, because well, I'm going to be 60 this year in November, and but I grew up as a video gamer, and I probably will be until I physically can't do it anymore. So as long as I have working thumbs, I guess I'll be able to do it, and I can see. But anyway, Tuesday, Blizzard, the makers of World of Warcraft and some other fine games like StarCraft and Diablo, they came out with their latest expansion for Diablo 4, and I just thought I should say that if you're a gamer and you played Diablo in the past but you haven't touched anything recent, I highly recommend it. The story is kind of like the final chapter in the whole Diablo 4 saga, if you will, and the major storyline is resolved, and they changed quite a few game mechanics, which is welcome. It's has a very fresh feel to it. I already finished the main storyline, so now I'm just messing around with the side quests and leveling and that kind of stuff, seeing what kind of interesting gear I can get. But yeah, so that's about all I've been doing these last 5 days. I've been doing a lot of that and moving a lot of furniture and stuff around as much as I'm able, because I'm physically not very capable, but I did what I could. So, and that's why this is a couple days late, because I had intended to do this past Friday on the 1st, but with everything, I slept late, and then I had some stuff to do, running around, going to the grocery store and shopping and whatnot. So with all that was been going on the last few days, so I finally I'm doing this at 10 to 11 p.m. at night on the Sunday. All right, well, that's it for now. So I thank you for tuning in, and I appreciate it. And again, if you're new and I didn't, scare you off for some reason, go ahead and hit subscribe and give me a thumbs up. And if you're a returning viewer, I thank you again for coming back. Some of you have been here since the beginning, and you know who you are, and I appreciate you very much. I have one that comments just about every month, and always has such nice things to say, and I appreciate them very much. So I will see you all on the beginning of June, hopefully with some good news about the job, and hopefully I'll get into some good stitching this month. My finger holds out and all that good stuff. So until next month, I bid you all adieu. Signing off, Captain Cross Stitch. Y'all take care and keep on stitching.